Hello everybody and welcome to Altcoin Nexus and welcome to a new video in which we will talk about Solana. Obviously, and we'll talk about that a little bit at the start of this video, obviously due to the news we had last week, or at least partially because of that VanEck filed for a Solana ETF, which might be huge in the future. We don't know if it's going to be approved or whatever is going to happen with it. It might just be rejected at the first hand. But nonetheless, there's different reasons why you should be interested in Solana. So in this video, we'll talk about the best projects, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why, the best projects to buy on Solana. So let's get right into it. All right, so first of all, the value of this video, right? Because there's been mixed opinions on Solana and the future of which. But I do think if you look at Solana right now, there's multiple reasons for me to tell you, or at least for me to believe, because in the end, it is my own belief, why Solana does have potential. Now, we have the Solana ETF, or at least the application by VanEck. Personally, I think this will be a very, very long trajectory. I don't think this will be approved at the first glance. It might be approved at some point of time. I would say that's quite likely, at least if Solana still has that prominence it has right now. But apart from that, Solana just also at this point of time has one of the biggest communities. If you see what decentralized exchanges on Solana do in volume, if you see where most of the retail comes in, or where it came in the last 6 months, it's Solana. You can also see if you look at the network, at the total value locked, since October last year, it went from 1.2 billion to a new all-time high at 12.3 billion. All right, that's a 10x in total value locked. So for me, still holding up fine now as well. For me, there's enough reasons to be interested in Solana. We've also seen some sort of evidence of some sort of a Solana narrative where all, or at least certain, which we'll talk about, certain Solana coins actually rally together with each other, which is also good to know because a narrative is needed to have some sustained bullish price action. But that's why I wanted to make this video. So without further ado, let's talk about the best projects on Solana. Now, kind of before we get into this, I do want to stress that these projects, I think, are the best. Now, there are always new projects going to be released, and there's always projects that are not that known right now, but that will do a 10x at some point of time. These projects we'll talk about are more kind of lower risk, but then more guaranteed reward, right? So obviously you'll have projects with more risk and a higher potential reward. This is more for projects that I still think can do multiple access, but also projects that are a little bit solidified in the space. So the first project is Jito. Jito, very simply, is just the biggest project on Solana right now in total value locked. And then apart from that, so I'll give you kind of the reasons why I pick certain cryptos when we talk about them. And for Jito, it's multiple things. All right. So first of all, it's the biggest protocol with $1.7 billion locked up. But then apart from that, it also serves some sort of utility in that you can get yield with Jito, and the Jito token has some sort of a role to play in that protocol, in that system. But then apart from that, it also has a relatively low market cap at $300 million. There's still significant room to grow right there. All right. There's if Solana actually will keep growing, there is a realistic 10x possible for Jito there. And then perhaps most importantly, what you can also see is that we have a proven track record of Jito rallies. And Jito actually, what I think is interesting is that most of the time, or at least a couple of times when Jito rallies, it was also uncorrelated to Bitcoin. So you can still make money with Jito even when the markets are not amazing. So that's also what you can see right here. A couple of big rallies. Could have made a lot of money with that. It's currently down quite a bit, but for the reasons given, I actually do think Jito has real potential. So consider, at least check it out and consider it adding it to your portfolio. Now, the second project I wanted to talk about is also a behemoth for Solana, and it's Jupiter. All right, so Jupiter, what it is, if you don't know, it's an aggregator. All right, so if you use Jupiter, you're basically using different DEXs to swap or do limit orders or DCA or whatever. You can do a lot of things on there. But Jupiter right now is one of the most used platforms on Solana. So you're not directly using Jupiter, but you're using Jupiter as an interface to use different DeFi protocols on Solana. But if you look, like Jupiter has a little bit of a higher market cap, but it has proven to move together with Solana. And that's key, all right? Because Solana, in the end, if you really want exposure to the Solana ecosystem, Solana might be the best hold. But you can see that Jupiter at times when Solana was bullish as well, here in March, for example, has rallied as well. Did a 3x or no, actually almost did a 4x right here from February until the start of April. So there's that track record that it is tied to Solana. And then Jupiter just does a ton of volume, all right? It's huge. Here you can see the swaps, Jupiter swaps. You can see Jupiter volume. Obviously, it's down a bit. Still relatively high. And it's also, in general, like the volume it reached when Solana was doing great in March. The volume was absolutely ridiculous. And then they also added their LFG launchpad, which adds more liquidity or adds more utility, to the JUP token. Is launching some amazing projects on here, has launched some projects that did quite well. So in general, for those reasons, I think Jupiter still has a lot of potential. There are airdrops coming as well for Jupiter, so that's another thing that I quite like, that adds some sort of hype, or at least that adds some sort of momentum to the platform, even though at some point of time people selling their airdrops could be extra selling pressure. But even despite that, for the reasons I've given you earlier, I still think it has a lot of potential. Now, third of all, I just wanted to talk about Solana meme coins, all right? If you look at Solana right now, and like I said, there will always be meme coins on Solana that you can find very early, which you can 10x or 100x. But I also think that if you look at the more solidified Solana memes, I still think you can actually make quite a bit of money with that. So then the obvious names are With, Bonk, Book of Meme. But what you also see more recently, and I think that might be better to kind of focus in on, like what you see with these meme coin narratives is that every time that meme coins start to rally again, it's new meme coins taking the spotlight, right? So Popcat, last week, it's up 120%. MAGA, or the Trump meme coin, I still think ahead of the elections can do great. Turbo has a great community. And then you have the little bit smaller ones like the NPC meme coin. It's being shilled by a lot of big people on X. Slurf hasn't really seen big shine yet after its introduction. The Milady meme coin is backed by DWF. So the meme coin space on Solana has a lot of great meme coins that I still think can do great. So keep your eyes on that as well. Now, obviously, I also had to add in one AI narrative coin, which is IO.net. Now, this is a little bit of a newer crypto, so we don't really have that proven track record, but AI in crypto is probably going to do good. What we have already seen with IO after the launch is that there is some sort of momentum, right? It reached $2 billion in volume. So there's there's either hype or some sort of a strong market maker behind this, which is good to see. It's a new kind of shiny coin. They have a lot of great backing also by Solana Ventures. So there's that real tie to Solana. So that in general with what we've seen. And then apart from that, it also serves a real utility, right? With distributed GPU power, it serves a real utility. It has a real tie to Solana. It saw a relatively good launch compared to other cryptos, even though it's down quite a bit right now. But let's blame that on the markets. And like I said, it's a new coin. I think we haven't seen it perform in the AI narrative times yet, but I have a sense that it will perform in those times as well. So this could also be a great diversifier if you want something tied to Solana and another strong narrative. And then lastly, I wanted to do a little bit of a couple of honorable mentions, all right, of projects that are relatively new, which the reasons why I haven't put them in there is mostly because they are relatively small and therefore risky. Some of them still have big airdrops that can be sold off. And we also haven't really seen a track record of them being correlated to Solana. So that's why I haven't included them yet. But you can think of other cryptos as well, such as the ones I wanted to name is Drift. Did a pretty good launch, good volume, relatively low market cap. Tensor, which I don't like that much, especially due to the price action we've seen in the last couple of months. Good volume, relatively low market cap, but also something like Parcel. I mean, it has a $29 million market cap. These are all relatively new, have some sort of utility. Reasons why I just haven't included them yet is because I think they're more risky and I haven't seen them correlate with Solana that well. Still, nonetheless, valuable to at least have on a watch list. Keep your eyes on them when Solana does well again, see which ones are performing well, and jump in the boat a little bit later. But that, for now, for me, are the best projects to hold or to accumulate if you want exposure to Solana. All right, so just in summary, Jito, Jupiter, IO.net, some stronger meme coins, and then some smaller meme coins or just in general new projects to add on to that to have a little bit more risk for a higher potential reward. But for now, that's what I think you need to know. If you have any other projects you want me to cover about Solana, or you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, if you appreciated the content, make sure to subscribe, and a like would be appreciated as well. For now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.